Hello and welcome to Amateur Builds. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Mandalorian skull. Let's jump right in. So I started out by printing my templates. You can find a link to them in the description below. I cut out the horn shaped part and set it aside for later. I got out a sheet of cardboard and used rubber cement to glue the templates onto it. Make sure you cover every part of the paper with glue. Next, I took a utility knife and carefully cut out all the pieces. You don't have to worry about all the details and the nooks and crannies in the templates, and you can just cut it out in a pretty simplified way. Now, these dotted line circles are optional. They can be cut out for hanging the skull on if you want. I used a drill to make the holes. I next used a hot glue gun to glue on the side view onto the main piece. I reinforced it with extra glue on the sides. Now I went ahead and cut out all the numbered pieces in half along the line. Starting with number 1, I glued them on one by one. Don't forget to glue on the side pieces on sections 3 and 4. I next took a cereal box. I needed that type of cardboard. I cut out pieces of the cardboard as shown. I then glued pieces on as shown. This will be what makes the shape of the skull. You kind of have to cut every piece to a custom size. It takes a lot of time, so just have patience. I looked at reference images the whole time to figure out how exactly it needed to look. I next took some cardboard and cut strips out of it. I rolled up pieces and glued them together, making sections of the horn using the reference from the template. I made a bunch of rings basically and glued them together one by one as shown. I then repeated that process for the other horn. Don't feel like the shape has to be perfect. Remember, it's a skull, an organic shape. It has imperfections. I next took some more of the cereal box cardboard and hot glued pieces onto the horn in sections like I did with the head part. I also added some strips of duct tape to help shape the horn on the small end. I then glued the horns onto the head. I also added some more of this thin cardboard as shown. Next was papier-mâché. I used some of this Elmers papier-mâché paste. What it is a powder that you mix up with water and it creates a goo for papier-mâchéing. When you mix it up with your hands, there becomes these clumps of powder that won't really mix in, so I use an electric mixer. Add more water or powder until you get a consistency of about cake batter. I then took some small strips of newspaper, dipped them in the papier-mâché paste, and stuck it on the head. I did maybe 3 layers or so. Now, in case you didn't know, this is actually the skull of a mythosouar. It is often used as a symbol for Mandalore. These were giant creatures that were native to the planet. They were actually very big and much bigger than the skull I am making. The mythosouar was actually referenced to in the Mandalorian Season 1 by Quill. Quill was saying how their ancestors used to ride the great mythosouar. I then made some teeth based on reference images out of hot glue. I would do one tooth, let it cool, then do another. Then I did a couple layers of normal papier-mâché. Paper is just thicker and therefore you need less layers to have the same effect. I noticed I forgot to add a detail on the base of the horn. I made that out of hot glue based off reference images again. I had to kind of do it in layers, do the bottom layer, let it cool, then do a layer of hot glue over it until I was satisfied with the shape. I added some bumps and imperfections for realism. And of course, I papier-mâchéed over that. Now, oftentimes on horns, antlers, and bones, there will be these grooves or lines in it. I used a utility knife and just scored a bunch of lines until I was satisfied. I did this on the horns and teeth. This is just one of those details that makes the skull look a lot better. I next used some matte clear enamel to add some protection. It's probably not totally necessary though. After that was dried, I gave the skull a few thick coats of white spray paint. The more coats you add, and the more thick the coats are, the more it hides the papier-mâché look. Once that was dry, I needed to add a bit more color to the skull. Using a mixture of brown, gray, and a few shades of yellow acrylic paint, I got a color I liked. I started by using a brush and watered down the paint quite a bit to paint it on. But I realized that scrunching up a piece of paper towel worked a lot better. I just kind of smeared around the paint, keeping it pretty thin everywhere. And I just kind of painted it based off of reference images. And there you have it, a Mandalorian skull.
Alright everyone, thanks for sticking around this long. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing, it would mean a lot. I'm super happy with how this build turned out. I think it was really fun to do a sort of organic shaped build like this. So let me know what you thought of it down in the comments, and I will see you next time.